Order. Question number 4, James Shaw.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker.
Tēnā koe.
Tēnā koutou e te whare. Ko taku pātai ki te pirimia a ka ui. Ka tū aia I runga I te mana o tana kōrero. If you go back and have a look at the first 3 or 4 years when I was Prime Minister, the issue of housing was not a significant issue.
Speaker.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Yes, certainly in terms of house price inflation. According to the Real Estate Institute data from November 2008 through to the start of 2012, the national median house price increased by around 5% or less than 2% a year. More recently, we've seen a number of things coming together to boost housing demand, such as low interest rates, growing incomes, more jobs and a rising population on the back of a growing economy. The member may not like the statement I made, but actually the reality was a combination of the global financial crisis, a lot of talking heads on television telling people they were going to lose their jobs, unemployment would rise to double-digit amounts, actually deterred an awful lot of people from buying houses. And the member might recall that actually the big thing between 2008, 9 and 10 was finance companies going broke because they'd lent money to property developers for mezzanine finance, who themselves were going broke because they couldn't sell the properties.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, James Shaw.
Does he agree with the statement made by the leader of the National Party in 2007 that, quote, we are facing a severe home ownership and affordability crisis, end quote?
Mr Speaker.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Pretty awkward if I don't agree with myself. And Mr Speaker, the answer to that question is yes, because the complete mismanagement of the previous Labor government saw interest rates go to 11%. So of course it was having a huge impact on affordability. If the member goes and has a look at the Productivity Commission's report on housing, he'll see that one of the really big factors about whether people can afford housing is actually ultimately can they pay the interest rates on the mortgage.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, James Shaw.
What was the average Auckland house price when he was elected and what is it now?
Speaker.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Member would have to direct that question to the Minister of Housing.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question. Order. Supplementary question, James Shaw.
Can he explain why an average Auckland house price of $493,000 back in 2007 was a severe crisis, but today's average Auckland house price of $975,000 somehow isn't?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, if one goes back and has a look over that period of time, for a start off, house prices had nearly doubled under the previous government and interest rates were extremely high. In fact, actually, I don't overly like referring to it because I think in principle it's just one piece of data, but actually the Massey Index in these matters points to the fact that affordability is more affordable now for the very reason of interest rates. Now, yep, that's cold comfort for people paying a little more, but they certainly can borrow money at much lower rates. That's the difference.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, James Shaw.
If we were apparently facing a severe home affordability crisis in 2007, but after 8 years of national government, there's still hardly any affordable houses being built, doesn't that suggest that his plan is a comprehensive failure?
Speaker.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, no. If one goes back and has a look at the period of time that the member's asking me, so between 1999 and 2008 of the Labor government, real wage increases were virtually zero. So any wage increases that New Zealanders got were eroded by the level of inflation. Interest rates were steadily going up to over 11%. That's why we saw the significant issues we saw in New Zealand. It's a very different position today. We have interest rates where at a retail level you can go to the bank and borrow for 4.25%, maybe even potentially less. Unemployment's at 5.2% and real wages, the average wage has risen $11,000 in the time I've been Prime Minister.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, James Shaw.
Does he agree with the Minister of Finance, who said just 2 months ago that, quote, very little low-cost housing is being built, end quote?
The
Speaker.
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Well, firstly, I'd have to look at the context in which the member made the speech. It'll be in relation to, I'm guessing, probably release of some sort of land and the likes, but, Mr Speaker, part of the overall plan is to make sure that there is more affordable housing being built. As we know, actually, the fastest way to ensure that happens is to ensure land prices don't go up at the rate they have been, and if the Greens wanted to support us on RMA reform to allow us to release that land even quicker, we could do that. And so what the member does is parade on TV like he cares about New Zealanders, but he cares so little, he's not prepared to change the law. He can keep smiling, but why doesn't he do something about it?
Supplementary.
Order. 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 James Shaw, supplementary question.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. If there was a severe crisis in 2007 and then it wasn't an issue for the first 3 to 4 years he was Prime Minister, and now he's saying that there isn't a crisis but there is a comprehensive plan to fix it, doesn't that just show he's making it up as he goes along?
Mr Speaker.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
No, there's a housing challenge and we're certainly working our way through it. Between 2008 and 2012, there's very little upward pressure at all on housing, and actually real estate agents weren't that busy because the economy was different. What has happened in the last 4 years is under National plan and under national policies, the economy is extremely strong. New Zealanders are no longer deserting the country for Australia as they did under Labor. Interest rates are low. Business confidence levels and consumer confidence levels are very high, and of course New Zealanders feel a lot more confident about buying a house. They are the policies of success under this government.
Question number 5.